The loudest person in the room is rarely the wisest. And one of the greatest mistakes people make is wasting their peace trying to win arguments with foolish people. The Stoics understood something dangerous. Some people are not looking for truth. They are looking for reaction. And the moment you argue emotionally with them, you lose your calm, your focus, and your dignity. Before we begin, subscribe to Calm Over Chaos for more powerful Stoic wisdom that helps you master your emotions, protect your peace, and remain calm in a chaotic world. Never argue with foolish people. Stoicism. Most people believe intelligence means winning arguments. But the Stoics believe true wisdom is knowing which battles deserve your energy. Because not every disagreement deserves your attention. Some people argue to understand. Others argue to dominate, provoke, or drain you emotionally. And if you are not careful, foolish people can steal your peace faster than any enemy. Today, we are going deep into the Stoic mindset that protects wise people from unnecessary conflict. And once you understand these lessons, you will stop wasting your energy trying to convince people committed to misunderstanding you. 1. Foolish people feed on emotional reactions. One of the first lessons Stoicism teaches is this. Emotional reactions give power to foolish people. There was once a young man named Daniel who constantly argued online and in real life. Every disagreement became personal. If someone insulted him, he fought back immediately. If someone mocked him, he became angry. If someone disagreed with him, he needed to prove himself right. At first, Daniel believed this made him strong. But slowly, the constant arguments drained him emotionally. One evening, his grandfather watched him yelling during a heated debate and calmly asked, "Why are you giving strangers control over your emotions?" Daniel fell silent. The old man continued, "If someone can steal your peace with a few foolish words, then your mind does not belong to you." That sentence changed him deeply. The Stoics teach that foolish people often seek emotional chaos. Your anger entertains them. Your frustration feeds them. Your reaction gives them power. Wise people understand this. Not every insult deserves a response. Sometimes silence protects more peace than explanation ever could. 2. You cannot reason with someone controlled by ego. The Stoics believed wisdom requires humility. But foolish people are often controlled by ego. And ego does not want truth. It wants victory. There was a businessman named Marcus who constantly argued with a co-worker named Leo. No matter how much evidence Marcus presented, Leo refused to listen. Meetings became exhausting. One day, an older colleague pulled Marcus aside and told him, "You are trying to teach someone who is committed to protecting their pride." That sentence changed his perspective instantly. Marcus realized something important. Some people are not listening to understand. They are listening only to defend themselves. So he stopped wasting energy arguing endlessly. Instead, he focused on his work and remained calm. And strangely, that silence frustrated foolish people more than arguments ever did. The Stoics teach, you cannot force wisdom into someone unwilling to receive it. And trying to do so only drains your own peace. 3. Arguing with foolish people pulls you down to their level. There's an old saying, "Never wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty, but the pig enjoys it." The Stoics understood this deeply. Foolish people often thrive in emotional chaos. They enjoy conflict, drama, insults, provocation. But wise people lose dignity when they descend into the same behavior. There was once a respected teacher named Adrian known for his calm nature. One day, a rude man publicly insulted him repeatedly during a gathering. Everyone expected Adrian to respond angrily. But instead, he simply smiled calmly and walked away. Later, one student asked, Why didn't you defend yourself? Adrian replied. If I join a foolish man in chaos, observers stop seeing the difference between us. That is Stoic wisdom. The moment you lose emotional control during an argument, your intelligence becomes invisible. Because rage destroys clarity. The Stoics teach, calmness is strength. And sometimes walking away is the highest form of self-control. 4. Most arguments change nothing. Many people waste years trying to change stubborn minds. But the Stoics believe truth reveals itself through time and character, not endless debate. There was a woman named Sarah who constantly argued with family members about politics, beliefs, and personal choices. Every conversation became stressful. Family gatherings became emotional battlefields. One evening, her grandmother told her, "Protecting your peace is more important than winning every disagreement." That sentence stayed with her. So Sarah began practicing restraint. She stopped debating every opinion. Stopped correcting everyone constantly. Stopped trying to force understanding. And surprisingly, her relationships improved. The Stoics teach, some arguments are simply emotional traps. Even if you win, you often lose peace, energy, and emotional balance. Wise people ask themselves, will this conversation create understanding, or just more chaos? If the answer is chaos, silence becomes wisdom. 5. Foolish people reveal themselves over time. The Stoics believe truth eventually exposes character. You do not need to destroy foolish people publicly. Life often reveals them naturally. There was once a dishonest employee named Victor who constantly mocked others, spread rumors, and manipulated conversations. One coworker named Ethan wanted desperately to expose him. But Ethan's mentor told him, "Do not interrupt people while they reveal themselves." At first, Ethan felt frustrated. But months later, Victor's behavior became obvious to everyone without Ethan needing to argue or retaliate. Eventually, Victor lost the respect of the entire workplace. The Stoics teach patience. Foolish people often destroy their own reputation eventually. You do not always need revenge. You do not always need confrontation. Sometimes calm observation is enough. 6. Silence is often more powerful than words. Most people think silence means weakness. The Stoics believed silence demonstrates emotional mastery. There was a young athlete named Leo who constantly reacted emotionally whenever opponents insulted him. Trash talk destroyed his focus. One day, his coach told him, "Your opponents discovered they can control your emotions." That sentence changed everything. From then on, Leo practiced silence. When insulted, he stayed calm. When provoked, he remained focused. And eventually, his emotional control became intimidating. The Stoics teach, a person who controls their tongue controls much of their life. Foolish people expect emotional reactions. Calm silence often confuses them because it removes their power completely. 7. Protect your energy like something valuable. One of the greatest Stoic lessons is understanding that energy is limited. Every pointless argument drains mental strength. There was a man named Joseph who spent hours every day arguing online with strangers. Politics, religion, opinions, drama. Eventually, he became mentally exhausted and emotionally negative constantly. One afternoon, his son asked him, "Why do angry strangers receive more of your energy than your own family?" That question hit deeply. Joseph realized he had wasted years feeding meaningless conflict. From then on, he became selective with his attention. And slowly his peace returned. Many people argue because they desperately need approval. They want everyone to agree with them. But the Stoics believed confidence comes from internal certainty, not external validation. There was once a philosopher who remained calm even when crowds mocked his ideas publicly. One student asked, "Doesn't it bother you when people disagree?" The philosopher smiled. "The sun does not argue with blind people about its existence." That is true confidence. The Stoics teach. Wise people do not need to prove themselves constantly, because inner certainty creates peace. Foolish people seek endless validation. Wise people seek truth quietly. 9. Emotional control is the ultimate victory. Most people think victory means humiliating opponents during arguments. The Stoics believe true victory is mastering yourself. There was a soldier named Marcus known for his calm discipline. During one heated confrontation, another soldier insulted him repeatedly, trying to provoke a fight. But Marcus remained completely calm. Later, someone asked, "How did you stay so controlled?" Marcus replied, "Because my mind belongs to me, not to angry people." That is Stoicism. Anyone can lose control emotionally, but remaining calm while provoked, that is rare strength. The Stoics teach. If someone can control your emotions, they control part of your life. And mentally strong people refuse to surrender that power. 10. Learn when to walk away. Perhaps the greatest Stoic skill is knowing when a conversation no longer deserves your presence. Not every battle must be fought. Not every misunderstanding must be corrected. There was once a monk approached daily by a man who insulted him constantly. One day, a student asked the monk, "Why don't you argue with him?" The monk smiled and asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who keeps the gift?" "The giver," the student answered. The monk nodded. "So why would I accept his anger?" That story contains deep Stoic wisdom. Foolish people often try to hand you chaos emotionally. You do not have to accept it. Walking away peacefully is not weakness. It is intelligence. Why wise people avoid pointless conflict? The Stoics understood something most people never learn. Peace is more valuable than ego. Most arguments exist because people care more about feeling superior than understanding truth. But wise people focus differently. They value peace over drama, clarity over ego, discipline over emotional reaction. And that mindset changes everything. The story of the lion. There's an old saying. A lion does not turn around every time a dog barks. That perfectly reflects Stoic thinking. Foolish people constantly seek attention, reactions, and emotional control. But wise people remain focused on bigger things. Not every criticism matters. Not every opinion deserves emotional attention. Because once you begin reacting to every foolish person, your life becomes emotionally exhausting. The Stoics teach. Your peace should not be available to everyone. Final thoughts. The world is full of foolish people who thrive on conflict, ego, and emotional chaos. And if you are not careful, they will drain your energy completely. But the Stoics leave us with timeless wisdom. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. Protect your peace. Protect your mind. Protect your emotional energy. Remember this. Silence is strength. Calmness is power. Emotional discipline is freedom. The strongest person in the room is often not the loudest, but the calmest. And once you master that mindset, foolish people lose the power to disturb your peace. If this message helped you, subscribe to Calm Over Chaos for more powerful Stoic wisdom that strengthens your mind, sharpens your discipline, and helps you remain calm in a chaotic world.